Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I am back again with Kinsey.
Hey!
And we just got back from Japan. And we bought lots of video games.
Lots of video games.
That's right. And so this is going to be our follow-up to that video. This is going to be all of our pickups. You brought a bunch of stuff. I have some stuff. And we're going to also show you some gameplay footage. But first, we have to crack open a beer. All right, let's take a look.
I'll go first.
Okay.
And my first one is actually a system.
Okay.
And it's one that was on my list that I had to find while I was in Japan.
Oh, yes.
And that is the Slime 2DS.
LL.
LL.
What does LL stand for? I can't even.
Because I think it's the large version, so it's like it's just like our XL.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is really cool.
Yeah, it's like metal or something, right?
Yeah,
it's like aluminum.
He's like a chrome slime.
Yeah, that is really cool.
And there's also a PS4 that has the same little chrome drippy slime on the corner. And this is just something I had to get while I was in Japan.
It looks new. It wasn't new though, right?
No, this is actually a used one.
Yeah.
And actually it's funny because I bought this at a different store without the box. And then later on I found it with the box and I was like, dang it. So I bought it again. But at least this copy, it wasn't that much more than when I bought it loose.
Yeah.
But it also comes with the game. So it has Dragon Quest VI in here as well.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Huh, okay. And you were looking for that when you went there? That was like one of your goals?
Yep.
Okay.
And I found it like the first day.
Oh, very cool. Well, when I went there, I also had a bunch of games I was looking for that we just didn't get over here. And the first one that I saw and I had to get was this. So this is Muchi Pork / Pink Things.
I like all those things.
Yeah.
Kinsey, stop talking.
I know. I know, it's so weird, right? So this is, the reason why it's so silly sounding because it's a cute 'em up. So this is one of those shoot 'em ups that is kind of also cute, but don't let that fool you because there's a serious challenge here. These games are, I mean, you can knock the difficulty down to easy or maybe even very easy, but you can also crank it to hard. They're awesome shooters. So the thing is, we did not get this copy over here. I think this is the only physical release that there was. Highly sought after. I absolutely wanted to get this. Now, the funny thing is that the Japanese, when they sell you something used, they of course wrap it in cellophane. So this came wrapped in cellophane. I pull off the cellophane and I realize it's brand new.
Nice.
It's a sealed copy. But here's the crazy thing though. Sealed copies for this Muchi Pork go for $250 to $300 online.
Dang.
Yeah, and so I was like, I opened it because I want to play it, but I got this for $125 US.
Nice.
Now it's a
steal.
I know it's the most expensive game I bought, but it was something I really, really wanted. These are fantastic shooters. I am so excited to get this.
Yay!
I know when I saw it, I was like, that's mine.
That's it. And then that one was like in a case too, so you were like had to go get the guy.
I had to go get the guy and point. Again, it's weird that they had this as used, but it was they just. I don't know, for whatever reason. So I got a heck of a deal. I'm really excited for it. So, yay!
All right, and to go off my Dragon Quest theme, that theme's going to continue for a little while.
Okay.
Because Japan.
Yeah.
But I got Theatrhythm Dragon Quest. And we got the Theatrhythm games for Final Fantasy in the US.
Oh, you're right.
And... But this one's Dragon Quest. And as a Dragon Quest fan, I absolutely had to get this. Because I also love rhythm games. So it's the love combined.
I didn't read it. Okay, yeah. When I saw that title, I was like, oh, didn't we get that? Okay, well, you
Dragon Quest, yeah. So this has all the Dragon Quest music in it. So I'm really excited to explore this one. And I don't think I'm going to actually need to know that much Japanese. Because once you get to the rhythm game part, it's the same as every other rhythm game.
Yeah, that's cool.
And amazing.
Okay, very cool. Next up for me is a PS4 game that when I saw it on the shelf, I was like, what the heck is that? I hadn't heard of it. So it's called S.T.E.A.L Rats. And this we got at a 2, which is one of those kind of like used places that has
recycle shop.
Yeah, has new and old stuff. Now, S.T.E.A.L Rats is a trip because this is a download only game except for in Japan. So this is the only physical version that was ever released. This was super cheap. I think I paid $5 for it or something like that. But it's a It's a 2.5D platforming game. Okay, so it's it's platforming, but instead of being a character, you're on a motorcycle the whole time. So the motorcycle is speeding down the platforms. You're jumping, you're crashing through stuff. There's enemies to avoid. There's massive jumps to do. It's a platforming game, but you're on a motorcycle.
It's so wild.
So weird. I know. And it's post-apocalyptic because, of course, it's just a very silly, it's a super fun game. I was playing it for quite a while. So you can get it on the download for pretty much everything, Steam, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, but this is the only physical release.
That's so cool.
I know. It's very cool.
All right, and next up for me, surprise, surprise, it's more Dragon Quest.
Okay. I heard it's popular over there.
Yeah. But this is Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy in Itadaki Street, which is in the same series as Fortune Street, which is a board game style Mario Party-esque series that we only got one of over here, I'm pretty sure. We got Fortune Street on the Wii. And it's really fun, but it's hella complicated.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this. Yeah, okay.
So this is just like Mario Party where you're moving around, and on this one you can buy properties and kind of more like Monopoly. But there's a market that can raise and lower the price of all the properties, and this series is so intriguing to me because of how complicated it is. I still don't even understand entirely how to play the Fortune Street that we got, and that one's in English.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. Yeah.
When I was capturing the footage for this, I can read a little bit of Japanese, so I'd be like, okay, I think I know what's going on. But then the computer characters would start doing other stuff in other menus, and I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be doing that too. But what's so cool about this game is that this does combine Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest characters. And it takes a couple characters from each game in the series. So, for example, it has from Final Fantasy 9, it has Vivi, and then it says it has Eiko, but I think she's unlockable because she was not there when I first started. But a lot of the maps are also really cool. I was playing a map of Midgar from Final Fantasy 7. Yeah. So it was really, really cool, and I'm hoping that even though it's really complicated, someday I will figure it out.
Well, you are taking Japanese lessons, so this is a possibility, right?
Yes, so many menus.
Do you ever just hold up Google Translate with your phone? I do that occasionally.
Sometimes. Google Translate's weird with Japanese, especially the picture mode. It works fine for speaking. Yeah. But the picture mode doesn't always work.
Because of the font.
Because of the fonts. Yeah.
Huh. All right, next up for me are two more shooters that I picked up on the Xbox 360.
Shooter City.
Now, I need help with these. I'm going to hand these over to you because I can't... I have notes here because the Japanese... Mushi...
Mushi Hime right?
So close.
Sama.
That's Sama. Okay. Do you know what that means in Japanese?
Oh, nope.
Well, the English translation is Bug Princess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Bug Princess. So these are two Bug Princess games on the Xbox 360 that we did not get over here. Now, I'll start with this one. So this one's called Bug Princess Duo or Futari. Futari. It's a sequel, but I actually like it better than the original. This came out also on the iPad, and I played it, and it was fantastic. And
That's so random.
I know, so random, right? But they got a physical copy on the Xbox 360. It's called Bug Princess because it's a shooter, but everything is insects. You're very zoomed in on kind of your backyard or the forest and stuff like that. Now, the reason why I like the second one so much is because it is the perfect game to give to somebody who wants to get into playing shooters. Because the difficulty is perfect, in my opinion. Actually, I sat down and just played it and beat it.
Nice.
So it's not super hard. Also, the bullets are just fast enough to where you can actually get through it.
Oh, nice.
So that's the second one. However, I do want to mention that they also got Bug Princess HD, which is the first game, remastered for HD. So this actually has better graphics, a little bit more modern looking, a little bit more cleaner looking, but it's faster, it's harder. Very cool games, but if you had to go and pick one, I would get Bug Princess 2.
That's awesome. Are the bugs cute?
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know, I'm killing them, so I don't even think about it. I'm like, die, bugs!
Number one question.
I mean, it's not a cute 'em up for sure, but it's bugs.
Yeah.
So,
oh.
Yeah.
All right, and next up for me is Devil World.
I got one of these too.
Yeah. I remember when I saw it, I was like, dude, that's a good price.
I know, it's less than $3.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually got several copies of it. But I wanted to keep the one that had the picture label instead of the standard like Famicom label with the little ziggy zag.
Yeah.
But this game's really fun because it's a maze game similar to something like Pac-Man, but there's a little bit more going on. In one of the first levels, you have to get across because that's the only way you can eat the dots like in Pac-Man. Because you still have to eat all the dots. That's still what you have to do. But there's a bunch of things getting in your way. Not only is there little enemies, but like at the top of the screen, there's the devil who's like dancing around. I don't know, he's dancing. And then his little minions are like pulling pulleys and ropes and stuff that actually shift the whole level while you're trying to collect all the dots. And because the level's shifting, you can get squeezed in between like the edge of the level and like a wall. So you have to, there's a little bit more things to think about than just in Pac-Man.
Interesting.
And then another level, you have to complete a talisman and you have to go around collecting Bibles, as one does, to fix it.
To take on the devil, essentially? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, you know.
But, I don't know, I think this game's super unique. It came out in Japan and Europe, but we never got it.
Okay, probably because of the name or something,
yeah,
maybe.
There's a lot of, like, connotations going on that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Us weak Americans couldn't handle.
I guess,
I don't know. But it's so cute, so different, I had to get it.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, I picked it up, but I haven't played it yet, so. All right, next up for me. Some games that require a little explanation here. So, you know, I was over in Japan and I wanted to know which, you know, original Xbox games they got, if any, that were exclusive. And they had two that well, three actually. I'm going to show you the other one here. Double S.T.E.A.L and Double S.T.E.A.L The Second Clash. So these are arcade racing games, and they were exclusive to Japan. Well, I shouldn't say both of them, because the first game we actually got as Wreckless, the Yakuza missions. So this is the US version, the one that made it out kind of in other parts of the country or world, but Second Clash did not. And essentially these are arcade racing games. They're very good looking, very kind of over the top. They remind me of, probably a little bit of like Burnout in that, especially in the first mission, you're playing as a cop and you're trying to bash in other cars, almost like crash mode or takedown mode. Fun games. The thing is, what's really weird about these games is that I can't play them on my modded Xbox for some reason. They kind of glitch out, so I got to figure out what's going on with that. Occasionally that happens with some games, but yeah, they were super cheap. I think they were $5 a piece.
Perfect.
I know, perfect, huh?
And next up for me is Card Captor Sakura. Or Sakura.
No idea what this is.
So this was actually a manga that I absolutely loved when I was in high school. And this is kind of a relatively simple adventure game, which is actually really good since I'm trying to like learn Japanese.
Wait, is this only 100 yen?
Yeah.
Wow. So for those of you who don't know, 100 yen is like what, 80 cents or something like that?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I had to get it.
Yeah.
Mostly for the price and because I really like Card Captor Sakura. And so this is an adventure game, and it's very isometric. So when you're going through the levels, it's all like that. But it does change it up where it can also go side-scrolling. Like there's one part in the beginning where it's side-scrolling and it's giving you prompts whether to jump or duck. Because this big like bird dragon's trying to like swoop on you. So it changes up the gameplay a little bit. But it does a good job of having a little bit more simple Japanese phrases and things like that. So if you're just learning Japanese, it's not a bad way to go. And it's Card Captor Sakura, and it's great.
And it's less than $1.
And it's less than $1.
That's amazing.
It's got a lot going for it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so this next one I'm going to see if you can read as well. Okay.
It's like I got a test coming up.
I know. And I'll look at my notes here. No pressure.
Mamorukun?
So.
Oh, that's wa. So that's a particle, so it's not going to be there. So Mamorukun is a name, so it's like a kid's name.
Yeah. I think you're right. So Mamorukun curse?
Yeah. Warete shi mate.
Wow, okay. That's pretty good. So another blind buy here for the Xbox 360. Over in Japan, I was so thrilled to see how many games were just sitting on shelves that were exclusive to Japan for the 360. I mean, it was. I don't know if I forget what place we went into. It might have been Trader, but I was just like, oh, you know, I was like, I'm buying all of these. It's so awesome, you know. because you can get these on eBay, but it's tough. You'll pay top dollar, you'll pay shipping, you know, it's all this. And so, anyways, this game actually was not very expensive. I think this was $40. So
not bad for a shooter.
Not bad for a shooter. Now, what's cool about this game is that it's different than most shooters because you control your movement. So instead of just auto-scrolling, it's almost like an adventure game where you're the character, and so you're kind of moving through the level. And if I remember right, this one also has the ability to turn on twin stick shooting. So it's so cool. It's so much fun. I know. So and it reminds me a little bit of Pocky and Rocky, that shooter that's on the Super Nintendo, I guess, or the Super Famicom. Definitely reminds me of that. The reason why this has a second in here is because some of these games, this may be one of those. Yeah, so this one comes with the game, but also comes with the soundtrack, and a lot of these shooters come with a second DVD of perfect plays, so or tips and tricks. People who go through the entire game without ever getting hit, stuff like that. So a lot of these special editions that I have that in there. We can watch people who are really, really good.
Just use that for the gameplay footage.
And pretend I'm so great. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so this is just, again, for $40 or whatever it was pretty cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And next up for me is another nostalgic manga anime that I loved when I was a kid. And it's actually by the same artist group as Cardcaptor Sakura.
Okay.
So Clamp is a well-known artist group that does Cardcaptor Sakura, Magic Knight Rayearth, like a whole bunch of titles. And their art style's awesome. But Magic Knight Rayearth is something that I just loved forever. There's, of course, that Saturn game.
What system is that?
This is for the Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a Game Boy box.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So little and cute.
I know. Like the Game Boy.
And at least Magic Knight Rayearth got one game in the US. So that was the one on the Saturn. That's $1 million.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
The working design.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And what I really liked about this game is I was met with a nice surprise. And that's when I put it in my Game Boy player, my Super Game Boy. It has its very own custom border. That's all Magic Knight Rayearth themed.
Oh, cool.
And it was really pretty. And this is also a game that, this doesn't use any kanji. So it only uses hiragana and katakana. So the two, like, simpler phonetic alphabets. So also, I was met with that, and I was like, oh, I could actually read some of this.
Oh, interesting.
And so I actually, when I was recording gameplay footage, I just kind of got sucked in, like, reading. So you might notice that I click through things kind of slow, just because I'm reading it out loud.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you were taking Japanese, you know, in night classes or whatever.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that in order to feel sort of like comfortable jumping into something like this?
Well, I took Japanese in high school. So I took it for 3 years in high school. And that was a long time ago. So I retained most hiragana, most katakana, and then some vocabulary. But so that way when I started this, I felt like I had a leg up. But then when we went further, I didn't. But so I've been taking the night classes for, I don't know, 8 months? Something like that. And I'm pretty comfortable reading. I make a decent amount of mistakes, but...
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool that you're kind of calling out some of these games that are good for sort of learning Japanese. Huh.
So it was a pleasant surprise that it didn't really have any kanji in it. And that's a lot of people's hurdle.
Okay.
But this is a top-down turn-based RPG, so similar... It looks similar to, like, Zelda games, with the exception that it's turn-based. So it has, like, the random battles and things like that. So it was actually really fun to play.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was really enjoying it.
All right. Next up for me, I'm going to show two... Yeah, I guess I'll just show some of the hardware that I got here. They're sitting on top of my... So I showed it in the video, but I just want to mention here that when I was over in Japan, one of my goals was to pick up some of the special edition colored versions of the PSP and the Vita. And so here I have it almost looks like fingernail polish or something like that, doesn't it? The blue. And then also this is one of the red Vitas. Now what's really great about the PSP and the Vita is that you can get the Japanese versions and set them to English. Now I knew you could do that in the Vita, but I didn't know the PSP would do it until I bought this. And sure enough, when
Come on.
I know. I was looking through tutorials, and it goes, okay, you go over to settings and go down 2 options, and it's like English. I was like, woohoo! But I want to mention though that it's nice having, you know, these colored versions of it. They play games great. I was able to switch over my PlayStation Network account to this one, so now my normal games show up as well.
Oh, cool.
The only thing that's kind of weird, and it's not that big of a deal, but I did post on Twitter about this, is that, Japanese consoles use the circle for okay and accept. And so it is a little weird going to that and having to hit, circle
I noticed
instead of
that
X.
when I was capturing gameplay footage for like PS2 or PS1 stuff.
Yeah.
I kept backing out and I was like, this again.
I know. Yeah, not a big deal, but and these are not that very expensive. I mean, that's the thing about going over there, is that you can, this one it took a little bit of time to find, but it wasn't that crazy. And I left a ton of them. There was a bunch of them you pointed out too, where they're white with green on the back and white with blue on the back. They got a bunch of them over there, so this was nice to get in my collection.
All right, next up is my favorite Mario game. And so it's not as cool and interesting because we got it too in the US, but this is Mario Land 2 and the 6 Golden Coins.
Wow, look at that cover.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite Mario game. And I have loved this game since it came out. I played the hell out of it on the Game Boy when I was little. So I'm the kind of person where if I have a few like super favorite games, and then I want them in like every region.
Yeah, me too. I'm that way with Hero on the Atari 2600. I mean, it came out, I have this Commodore 64 version, the Atari version, the Coleco, everything, Do I need them? No, but I love that game so much.
Do you need them? No, but do you need them? Yes.
Yes, yeah. It's true.
So, of course, when I saw this, and I think this one was like maybe $10.
Yeah. Okay, next up for me, another Xbox 360 shooter. This is called Under Defeat HD. This is a really cool shooter that also came out on the PlayStation 3, maybe even the PlayStation 4. It's not super unique, but the Xbox 360 version, they only got in Japan. And so it's a little bit collectible for that reason. This is a really fun shooter because it's also another one of those twin stick shooters. So you're a helicopter, but you're firing, to the left and to the right and forward and stuff like that. So it feels a little bit different than other shooters. Very cool. A lot of people love this game. But it also comes with this second case in here for it says Dreamcast on the spine. Now, I think this game came out on the Dreamcast, but I don't believe this is the Dreamcast version. I don't know, it's really weird because...
That'd be so cool if it was.
I know. So I have to pop into my Dreamcast and find out. I think what it is, it's possibly the soundtrack and then another one of these perfect Let's Plays on the Dreamcast, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool that it has Dreamcast on the spine. So, I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to pop it in there and see what it is, so... Yep, more shooters, more good stuff.
Surprise, surprise.
I know.
Next up for me, I actually bought it for the same exact reason I bought Mario Land 2. But that is Second Densetsu 2 or Our Secret of Mana. And this game is another one that I hold near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love this game. And before I found this, actually, I found it card only for pretty cheap. So I was like, yeah, I'll get this because, I love this game. It's cheap. I'll get it. But then I found this, and this was like 700 yen. So it's only like
$6.
Yeah, like 200 yen more than I paid for the cart only, and I was like, I guess I'll get that too. But of course, this is an excellent like action RPG that I'm sure a lot of you have played, and I just love it so much.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the thing about going over there too, is that some of your favorite Japanese games, one, they'll have different covers.
Yep.
But you just get their special version of it. It's awesome. Cool. Next up is a game that I found also again at, I believe, at A2. It's a game I got for Reggie because he's a huge fighting game fan. And I was, there's a lot of fighting games over in Japan. I was trying to figure out which ones we didn't get, which ones we did. Turns out we did not get yet. I don't know if it's coming to the United States or not. I want to make sure and get this right. It is in English, but it's called Blade Arcus Rebellion from Shining. So basically, it's a bunch of the... I know. It's a bunch of the Shining characters. I guess there's a couple... Again, a series I'm not really familiar with. But there's like 30 characters in here. It's a 2D fighting game. I played it for a little while. I'm not great at fighting games, but I did enough to capture the footage. It's cool because it does have tag teams, so other characters can come in. Yeah, Reggie was really funny because I was messaging back first. He's like, you find me anything there? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll try to find you something, man. But this was not expensive. It was, regular price. So cool to get.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, next up for me is a twofer. Well, a threefer.
Okay.
So I'm a huge fan of the series Taiko Drum Master, or in Japan, Taiko no Tatsujin. And, I played it in the arcade when I was in Japan, and they got some really cool versions, like this DS version. And this one's really cool because it comes with 2 styluses, so you can Taiko it up on your little baby DS pad. It's a very small drum.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then this is really cool because this is the Taiko no Tatsujin special pack.
Oh, kind of like a special edition.
It's a special edition. So it comes with stickers.
Okay, of course.
And this is I believe this is the 3rd generation of Taiko, but it also comes with this. This is what I was interested in. This is the Taiko no Tatsujin Waku Waku Anime Matsuri.
Wow, you did that.
Yeah, which is, I think Waku Waku is the onomatopoeia for exciting. So exciting anime festival.
Okay.
So this just is a whole bunch of anime theme songs.
Okay, yeah.
And it even has like Pokemon Advance and like random stuff, and it has like Detective Conan, Sailor Moon, Naruto, like it has a whole bunch of stuff. And I was actually playing it last night, and it was so fun.
Well, I could see this being a big deal because obviously back in the PlayStation 2 era, DLC wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to get extra songs or whatever, you had to go buy the expansion pack.
Buy the other packs, yeah. The only thing that's kind of weird is Taiko originally had Head Shala on there, which is the Dragon Ball theme song, but it's not on the anime disc. So when I was playing them, then I was like, oh, I want to play Dragon Ball. And then I was like, I gotta switch discs away from the anime one, which would make so much sense if it was on there.
Oh, interesting.
But it was already on Taiko. So what can you do?
Rage.
But I was super excited to find on the DS as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Complete with the cute little styluses.
All right, next up for me is, I mentioned the PSP. The PSP got a bunch of shooters as well. I'm only going to show you a couple of them just because it's just shooters and more shooters. But the thing is, for me, is that I do love shooters. Japan they put out a lot of them. And you don't need to know Japanese to play them and enjoy them. So that's why I went a little nuts with these. And both of these all of these are kind of collectibles. So the first one here is Parodius, if I remember. Yeah. It's a Parodius Portable, and I believe that one has 5 Parodius shooters on there.
Collection.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a collection. And so, because of that reason, it is somewhat pricey to try to find online. I was able to get it at a really reasonable price there. And if you're not familiar with the Parodius series, it's basically a parody of Gradius, or Gradius, whatever it is. Horizontal shooter, very silly, very funny, but also, again, a serious challenge. These games are tough. And then here, oh gosh, I gotta be able to. Okay, how do I pronounce that?
Soreyuke.
Yes, what she said. This is another cute 'em up, very much in that sort of Parodius style. Not a Parodius game. And then Salamander, which is we got that originally in the US as Life Force, I think, on the NES. So yeah, a bunch of awesome shooters on the PSP. I'm all shooters all the time. I know.
Well, even in the arcades, they had like a whole floor of shooters.
Oh, I know.
And it was awesome.
And a lot of the games I've shown here, I was able to play. Like, I think they had the Bug Princess in the arcade, and I was able to play it.
Cool.
Although it was tuned to be really hard because it's trying to eat quarters, you know? So I died bad. I thought I was so good until I played in the arcade. I'm like, no.
Nope, never mind.
Yep.
All right, next up for me is a system question mark.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I got PocketStation.
Yes.
And I was so excited. Actually, we saw some at Super Potato for $20.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I know.
If I see them for 10, I'll get them. And then like the next store we went to, I was like, well, I said it.
Because those are the type of things you don't know if you'll actually use.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cool to have, but you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You know.
And then they had both the colors.
Okay.
And it just went downhill from there. But I've already started like separating out a bunch of my games, which ones use the PocketStation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the PocketStation never came to the US, but what's really cool, if you look in the manual for Final Fantasy VIII, there's a section in the US manual that says PocketStation functionality, and it has a whole page in the manual, but then there's a little disclaimer that's like, this might never come out here. Good luck.
Okay. So,
but it's still all there in the game. They left it.
Is it like the VMU for the Dreamcast?
It's very similar.
Okay,
yeah.
so it has like little mini games, or maybe does it also function as it's a memory card?
I don't know, but
Okay.
it goes in the memory card slot.
Oh, it does. Okay. It has little buttons and everything.
Yeah, that's how you like loaded load all your stuff on there.
Man, that is so cool.
They're so cool.
I know.
I know basically nothing about them.
Yeah.
So this is a whole thing that I'm really excited to explore.
You should do a video on that once you get all set up and
Once I figure it out.
Yeah.
But they're so cool.
Yeah.
I just had to get them. And they were like 980 yen.
Yeah, so like $9.
Yeah. So for two, I got the same price as that other store.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. All right, next up for me is another PSP game, not a shooter. That is Silent Hill 0, which we got in the US as Silent Hill Origins. So this is a prequel to the original game. He plays a trucker who goes into a burning house that finds this girl who is part of like a ritual sacrifice, whatever, and he rescues her. And then he's in Silent Hill, and it's all downhill from there. But the reason why I want to mention this is because this is a good example of a game that you can play even if you don't know Japanese. Not that you need to, because we did get it, but this was very cheap to get over there. It's all in English as far as the voice acting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now, the only caveat is that some of the things that you click on, like, will pop, like if you examine something, it's going to be in Japanese, which is a little bit, I couldn't figure out how to turn on to English as far as the subtitles.
Oh.
I might have to have you help me with that. But, yeah, a fantastic Silent Hill game. Scary as hell. It got really good reviews when it first came out, so this is the Japanese version. Different cover, too. So, yeah. Want to mention that.
All right. Next up for me is... Oh my goddess.
Oh, that's an anime.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this, another anime that I loved when I was little. But what's really cool about this one is I didn't even know that it had a game. I had no idea.
Is this a PC game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hence why there's no gameplay footage for it.
It is for the PC. It is actually for... Or is it a Japanese computer?
It's a Japanese PC.
Okay.
So it's one that I don't have. I'm never going to have it. But it's one of those things that I've never seen in Oh My Goddess game. I just couldn't not get it. And it's funny because we actually got this, I got this at Beep. And I saw it on the shelf actually for about double the price of this one. And I was like, because then it was like almost $20, and I was like, well, I'm never gonna play it.
Yeah.
And then I put it back, and I was sad. But then at the same store, just on a way up shelf, I was like, I know that spine.
Oh.
And I like pulled it out because it's like missing the manual or something.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? This is half the price.
Yeah.
I didn't get it at 20. I'll get it at what I pay, 980 yen.
Yeah.
So. It's just so awesome, and it's just something I've loved forever. I love this series. I feel like it doesn't get quite enough love.
It's a cool cover, too.
Yeah, so I had to get it, even though I'm probably never going to play it. But maybe there's an emulator or something
I was going to say, there probably is an emulator for it. You could probably get like an ISO or something like that to check it out if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's cool.
It's so cool. I had to get it.
Neat. All right. Next up for me is a Vita game. This is Hotline Miami for the Vita. And as far as I know, Japan got the only physical release of Hotline Miami.
That's so cool.
I know. Because I recognized the cover. I'm like, I don't know what that is right there, but that seems like something I should probably own. Brought it home. It runs in English. It's all in English. It works perfectly. If you haven't played the Hotline Miami games, have you played these? Mm-hmm. They are... It's not roguelike, but it might as well be, because it's basically you are going to die and die and die and die.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. But they're super fun. Actually, it's almost like kind of like Dark Souls for top-down beat-em-ups or something like that.
Yeah, because it also puts you back in quick.
Immediately. So they're very addictive because, yes, you die a lot, but it doesn't matter because you just want to keep going. You know, I was playing this last night. Again, hours later... It's also such a weird game, too, because it's got the chickens and the
all the different masks.
Yeah, all the different masks, and it's messed up, but it's such a cool game, so.
Do you want to know what that says?
Yes.
Hotline Miami.
I hate you. It doesn't, is
yeah.
Is that actually Miami? Is that how
Yeah.
Oh.
Because that's mi. Mommy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It just says it in English, but not in English.
So, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that say? The back.
1 and 2.
Do you
I think it has Hotline Miami 1 and 2.
What?
Does it?
I don't know.
What? No, I don't know. I didn't actually look at it. I just saw that it had a number 1 plus number 2.
Interesting.
So I assumed that's what that meant.
No, I don't think it did, but maybe there's like some extra...
You get 1 or 2 tries, and then it's over.
Oh, no. I died a lot. I was dying quite a bit. It's too funny.
And next up for me is something that I could not believe I found on the junk floor. I love that junk floor.
I know.
And that is...
Oh, yeah.
A power glove.
I know, it's so funny. So the junk floor, do you remember how much that was?
1,000 yen.
Okay, so less than $10.
Less than $10.
Huh.
And...
Nope. Old school styrofoam.
Yep.
That's so funny.
And it has everything.
Oh, yeah.
It has the manual, it has the little additional instruction thingy, it has the glove itself. And in Japan, this was put out by a company called PAX, who did the manufacturing.
Okay.
But it has absolutely everything. All the sensors, manual. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's for the Famicom, so I haven't been able to test it yet. But, you know... How many people buy a power glove for it to work?
No, it's going to be in the background of your videos, and people will be like, what is it PAX? What does it say PAX for?
Yeah. Or you wear it in like random places.
Yeah.
That's why people buy a power glove.
That's true.
Especially
Cosplay.
like when it's less than $10.
Yeah.
But I am going to test it eventually because, you know what, I want to know if it works because it was on the junk floor.
Man, it is great condition though for a junk floor.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to get it. Although it's huge though. I got it at one of the first hard-offs we went to. So then I was like, do I want to carry this thing around the whole trip?
What did you do? I forget.
I carried it around the whole trip.
Is this one of the things that we mailed back?
Nope.
You carried this all the way...
This was all over Japan.
You could have mailed that back. That's funny. I had no idea.
Yeah, but I was so excited to get it. Because I've had one broken power glove in my life, and it looked like crap. So to find this for so cheap, I was so excited.
How many kids that originally got that kept it in perfect condition? None.
Nobody.
This one kid right here.
Yeah, they were all captain in, running around outside.
Yeah. That's cool. All right. For me, I'm going to just show 2 games really quick here. Another original Xbox exclusive. I was like, what the heck is Muzzle Flash? That sounds so stupid. Yeah. And in many ways, this game is.
Right.
It's a third-person... This should have came out in North America, because it's a third-person action shooter game. Like, I want to say SOCOM, but that's giving it too much credit. It's basically like a budget... third-person shooter. You play a guy who kind of looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger a little bit. He's got a little bit of attitude. He's kind of an alcoholic. It seems kind of dumb. I've only played it a little bit, but it was less than $5 for an original Xbox game that we didn't get in the US. So I thought that was pretty fun. And then I also picked up this other shooter for the Xbox 360. Lots of shooters.
Surprise.
I know. Ginga Force? Ginga Force. So... It's my understanding that this is a all-original shooter for the Xbox. A lot of these other games came out in arcades first, and then were ported to the Xbox. This is an all-original game as far as I know. Not a cave shooter, so it's another company called Cute, I believe. I don't know. I probably should have looked all this up. Anyway, so another shooter I got on the Xbox 360. I got a bunch of shooters. I couldn't help myself. So, looking forward to playing these, by the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and next up for me is actually some honorable mentions.
Okay.
And there's yours. Yeah. And while in Japan, we met up with a few friends. We met up with my friend Kevin and my friend Corbin, who showed us around, and it was awesome. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
And they also brought us gifts.
I know. I noticed this, that they bring gifts every time that they hang out with us. I felt so dumb. It was only later I'm like, oh, maybe I should have brought some gifts, too. I don't know.
The gift was your company.
Aww.
But from Kevin, I got Super Mario. And I love this cover.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. Yeah. He also gave me a copy of Jesus.
Yeah!
That's right. It's sitting over there. I apologize.
It was in the last video.
That was. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
And then Corbin got me the Tamagotchi game on the Game Boy. And it's also awesome and so cute. And they're both complete, and I love them.
Yeah, and Corbin also gave me a copy of Seaman on the Dreamcast. There might actually be the microphone in there, which is pretty cool. So, Thank you so very much. Actually, huge shout out to Corbin because he met up with us in Kyoto, correct? And was a huge help in mailing back a huge box of these things because I would not have made it through that. Because the fine gentleman who was running the counter at the post office did not speak a lick of English. And yeah, so thank you so much for helping with that.
He's a wee bit grumpy.
He was a little bit grumpy. Yeah, and that was totally fine.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for helping me get a box of this stuff back here. It was awesome. So that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Wow. Okay, we blew through that. That was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's our pickups from Japan, and hope you guys like this. I got a ton of requests for us to do this because I kind of breezed through it in our travel video, so I wanted to show some gameplay footage.
Oh, totally.
Like so,
and I bought even more.
I know. Actually, I did too. I didn't show everything here. You know, well, as you guys can see, I bought a bunch of shooters on the Xbox 360, the PSP. I didn't want to bore you guys with all those, but I'm looking over there. I probably have another stack, another 6, 10. So where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Kanzilla, K-N-S-Z-I-L-A, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Awesome. All right. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and take care. As you can see, we found a lot of really cool games while traveling in Japan. And speaking of, if you haven't seen our highlights videos, the travel videos I put out on my channel, I'll put a link to those down in the video description below. And also, I want to do a huge shout out again to Kinsey, because this was actually her trip. She planned it along with my wife, and we just had a great time. She packed in a ton of awesome video game stores and just highlights from all of Japan. So thank you very much, Kinsey. All right, have a great day.